Okay, so today we're going to show you one of my favorite little, I guess, whatever dessert or snack things to eat. Now I do it kind of like the peanut butter cups, okay? But you can also just do it as chocolate, or I'll come back later and show you another way to do it as, you know, the Andes mints that you get. But we're using butter. And tell them why we're using butter.
We are using butter because it has K2 vitamins in it and it makes your teeth really strong.
Also, Dr. Berg talks about butter, and I will link that one to the bottom because a lot of the stuff that you've been told over the years about butter is really not true. And so, so to get started, we have to do this in 3 layers. So we're going to start with, I got a pan, I just put parchment paper down in it, and then I've got a 1/4 of a stick of butter, basically, because I cut a half a stick in half. And then over here, now if you were just going to do the whole chocolate, you would do the whole stick of butter, and you would do the wrong thing. You would do a complete 1/4 cup. So I'm using basically half a cup of the chocolate. Okay. Then, not quite a teaspoon of salt, just probably a half a teaspoon of salt, and a little bit of vanilla. And then we're going to put in 2 tablespoons of whatever sweetener you want to use. Now you can use sugar-free, you can use all that other. You're not supposed to use equal if you're cooking, but all you're doing is melting this butter, so it's not really heating up the equal as much, you know, as if you were cooking on the stove. So you could get away with equal. And then we're going to put in I'm just using powdered sugar today, but you can, like I said, make it sugar-free, very easy. And I don't know if you've looked at the price of sugar-free chocolate, sugar-free, all that. So now, you want to go ahead and stir it up?
Sure.
We're going to stir it up real good, make sure there's no lumps and stuff, and then we're going to pour it into our pan and then refrigerate it in the ice box. Now, one thing you got to remember about this treat is it has to stay in the ice box. So kind of one of the best things to do is put it into a pan or something that is not real fancy or whatever, and then when you go for your treats, they're still there. If you put in something fancy, they get eaten up really quick. So, okay, she's got it to that point now. Now we're gonna pour it into our pan, and then we're just gonna cover the whole bottom. And it doesn't matter, you know, I got parchment paper here. It doesn't really matter that it's not going all the way to the sides, because when you take it out, there'll be a little bit on the side, but then you just, let me just show you what it looks like here. Okay, so you see how it's really shiny? Well, when we put it in the ice box and it comes back out, it will have a dull finish on it. All right. Okay, so now we're going to do the peanut butter part. So basically, I did not melt down as much butter as I did with the chocolate because the peanut butter already has, you know,
a lot of butter.
Well, not a lot of butter, but its own oil. So probably a good heaping amount like this. Mm-hmm. And then while the butter is still warm, we'll start, there you go, start mixing that in good. I'll get rid of this. I don't need to put any salt because the peanut butter's already got the salt. I will put in the 2 tablespoons, and I don't need to do the vanilla because we're getting plenty of vanilla in. So I'm gonna go ahead and Now, if it's a real sweet peanut butter, you don't have to put in the sugar, but most of the stuff is not sweet, so yep, keep mixing until you get it all nice and smooth around. I'll go get out the other dish. And you can see how it's got a dull finish to it now. So the next thing we're going to do is make sure we got it all smooth, and then we're going to do our second coating here, and then we'll come back and do the same chocolate we did at the beginning on top, and then let them completely cool. If you don't let them completely cool, they're not going to cut the greatest. But like I told you, these are something that you put back in your refrigerator in a container that is not real fancy, so people don't see it, because they'll eat all your stuff. And well, I'll tell you a story. My dad, when we were growing up, he always had a jar of orange marmalade in the refrigerator for his toast. And one day I said, "Do you really like that stuff?" He said, "No." He said, "But at least I knew when I went to the refrigerator it would be there because you guys didn't like it." So this is kind of like your orange marmalade without, if they don't know about it, they don't eat it. So we'll be back to do one more layer of chocolate. Okay, you can see that the peanut butter has that dull finish to it now. So all we got left is basically to do the same thing we did before. You know, like I said, this is 1/4 of a cup, but I'm not putting in a whole 1/4. I'm only putting half of that, so like 1/8 of a cup of chocolate. And you can use any kind with, you know, the Dutch chocolate tastes a little bit better, but it's a lot more expensive, and I don't happen to have the Dutch chocolate. Then a little salt, a little bit of vanilla, and then your 2 tablespoons of, I'm using powdered sugar this time, but like I said, you could probably even get away with equal, because all you're doing is melting the butter down, and that's it. Then we're going to stir it up really good, and we're going to put the last layer on, and then either this evening or tomorrow I will show you the end product as we cut it up, and my little taster will be back. She actually fell asleep, so I figured, well, I need to finish this while they're sleeping. So then we're going to put that over, and that's going to be our top layer. So it's just going to be like a peanut butter cup, and you know, you can put this in fancy stuff and everything else, but what I've learned is if you want to have it around when you want it, the best thing to do is don't put in something fancy, and then it'll be there. And this tastes much better than the store-bought junk. But the fact of the matter is, okay, so it's back to the shiniest stage, and that's going away. The fact of the matter is, though, watch on the video. I'm going to put that doctor talking about butter, and when you realize how long they've been telling us how butter was not good for you, it's not the truth. But anyway, you'll see it on the video, and I'll be back with my little tester to say what she thinks. Okay, so we're done making our peanut butter cup. So here's how I slice it. I just take a knife. It's very easy to slice because of the fact it's butter. And then I'm going to put it in a container and put it back into the ice box. Make sure I'm doing it straight here because I can't. Oh, you know what? That's why. Then I'll put it back into the ice box. And like I said, this is the thing that you don't want to put in anything really fancy, because once they know it, they eat all your stuff. But I am putting it in a little fancy deal. My granddaughters will enjoy it while they're here. You want to
Sure, I'll try it.
try one there?
This is so good.
Well, what do you think compared to the other peanut butter thing that your dad really likes?
I would say this is better.
I have to agree with you. Well, I want to thank you for watching.